Merry Christmas. Should the Texans rest the starters against the Ravens?
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go. Hard work, work. Everybody doing it right. Hard work, work, work. That's what you say. Hard work, work, work. Earn my pay. Hard work, work. Hard work. Do it every day. Hard work, work. Get up out of 2:45. Hard work, work. Let me go and earn my pay. Hard work, work.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You're tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Before we even get started, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you'll follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because, we do everything for the gram. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. And make sure you subscribe to the Locked On Texans podcast and the Locked On Texans YouTube page. What's going on, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Alexis. Hello, Larry. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Eric, we'll talk about that. Merry Christmas. Hey, man, before we even get this thing started, what y'all get for Christmas? Like, what y'all get? Like, drop it in the comments. What did you get? Did you get what you wanted? Did you get what you wanted? So, if I'm not mistaken, every December 25th, no matter what day it falls on, that's Christmas, right? That's Christmas? No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking, D-Money. Like, I'm just asking, like, every, it's Christmas, right? Like, you don't say, oh, wait, hold on. You waiting on, what you celebrate? Kwanzaa? And don't get me wrong, if you celebrate Kwanzaa, that's cool, too. Let me get this mic together. If you celebrate, the camera, if you celebrate that, that's cool, too. But, like, it's Christmas time, man. It's not fashionably late. Good morning. Merry Christmas. Good morning. Merry Christmas. I shouldn't be on here. Hey, man, give me a shout out. Let me know where you're going to be. I might be able to make it down. Not at halftime, though. Oh, hold on, y'all. Let me, good morning. Hold on. Frankie say I got to the wife and kids love me. Hey, look, hey, check this out. Not doing. Hey, listen. If you're attending the Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens game on Wednesday, Christmas Day, there will not be any pop-up or guest appearances wherever you are from Big Sarge during halftime. There will not be. I normally do a halftime spaces so we can just go over and analyze the first half, what we've seen, what we would like to see in the second half, and for the rest of the game. I normally do that from wherever I'm at. Not today. No. Hold on, let me fix my shirt. No. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I love all of y'all. Y'all know how I feel about the supporters. I love all of y'all. I love y'all. I love you. I love you. I love you. You support me no matter what. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, right, wrong, or whatever, you always support me, and I love that. I've never seen Beyonce perform in person. Like, never. Like, not live. I've never seen Beyonce live, and I am a huge Beyonce fan. You think I'm finna pass it? I can't do it, y'all. I love y'all. I love you. I do, but I can't do it. Beyonce? Like, if this was been if this was Clay Walker, come on now, I'd be sitting next to you during the halftime with headphones on. This was Clay Walker. Hey, listen, I love Bun B, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, Mike Jones, all of them. If they was performing at halftime, no. Now, Outkast, yeah, y'all wouldn't see me. It's certain people that y'all wouldn't see. Fantasia. I don't need to be around nobody when Fantasia's performing. Nobody. Nobody. Not a one. But the queen bee, Beyonce, is performing. She's not guest appearing she's not appearing on somebody else's. It's her. This is her platform, her stage. 20 minutes of Beyonce. Yes, let me tell y'all something. My phone gonna be on do not disturb. I want to take videos of me jamming to whatever she playing, whatever she singing. Beyonce can get up there and go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I would go, that's my favorite song. Sing it again. We're not doing that. Yes, Larry, did you know she performed I think she performed the national anthem at the national championship game last year at the at NRG Stadium. Go back and look at my timeline. You ain't hear nothing from me during that time, did you? And let me look at some of these comments. They only got enough time to sing 1 or 2 songs. She got 20 minutes. All I needed to do is go through the classics. Matter of fact, I don't even need, just show up. Ooh, what if she bring Jay with her? I hope Tony Busby is in this thing. No, I'm so petty. What if he say, yeah, this next one goes out to attorney Tony Busby. This is for you, my guy. Merry Christmas. Hold on. Merry Christmas. Hold on. Now that would be insane. Sad to say, but they still need to figure out the old line and offense have a complete test. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Eric. Okay, it's just more Beyonce for me. She's part of the Diddy crew. You know what, Eric? One day we're gonna have a conversation. One day we're gonna have a conversation about how some of our great grandparents and great 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 grandparents and our great 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 uncles and our great 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 aunties and all that. Pretty sure there's no family squeaky clean. Diddy's is just out there. A lot of the people's don't get theirs exposed to the family reunion. Like, we're gonna talk about that one day. Like, for real, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about how every family has got somebody that's part of the Diddy crew. Every family, everyone. I don't think you're gonna find it doing 23andMe. You just gonna have to do some research. Hey, wait till that illegitimate cousin pop up and you be like, where you from? And then you find out great 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 grandpa Joe was 31 with a 15-year-old girlfriend, had a baby. And he's married to your great 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 grandmother Gertrude. We'll talk about that. I saw her doing a Renaissance too, and I was in the nosebleed, and it was still amazing. I cannot wait. Oh, it says Texans got Beyonce to perform before. No more political talk. Oh man, hold on. Hey, Christmas, New Year's, Ash Wednesday, Labor Day, Memorial Day, St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, Martin Luther King Day, President's Day, Groundhog's Day, Juneteenth, for sure Juneteenth. Oh, dang, Big Star screaming like a little girl. We're going into 2025, man. Don't judge me. You don't know my life, where I've been and what I've been through. You're right. I'll be like, Beyonce. Hold on. Jay laying low right now. And that ain't right. What you doing on here anyway? Hey, I need to get with you, bro. I need to get with you, Buck. For real, for real. I need to get with you, man. Like seriously. Like I need to meet up with you early in 2025, my guy. Hello. Merry Christmas. What's going on, y'all? Merry Christmas, Uncle. No, this is my real uncle for real. Like my real my blood uncle. That's my uncle. Let's see one time. Really love her to bring out Destiny. Hey, that would be nice. Uh, that would be nice. Wouldn't be surprised if the Texans lose. They still tune in the game. Yeah, I saw fantastic. Hey, that shadow right there. Ooh, ooh, Merry Christmas. I know y'all at the game. I know y'all at the game. That's part of the Diddy tree. No, my Uncle James ain't part of the Diddy tree. No. And I ain't gonna put his business out there. I'll just say my Uncle James is a truck driver, though. Uncle James, I know you're gonna kill me next time you see me. You're gonna probably choke me. And I know you keep a pistol on you, so you probably gonna pull it on me. But hey, I'm cool with that. My Uncle James is a truck driver, though. Then cold peanut butter. Oh my God. Once again, you tuned into the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Y'all still ain't told me what y'all got for hold on for a second. We still trying to figure that out. Hey, look, you know what? Because y'all know I'm transparent on here. My Uncle James know I love him. Look, I didn't meet Lil James till he was like 20 something years old and married. Like, I think Lil James may be like 28 and married. And he showed up to the funeral. And I was like, hey, mama, who is that? That's your cousin. What cousin who? That's Lil James. Lil James who? I'm just saying. Hold on. Yeah, but hold on. We're going to get to that in just a second. Ah, gotcha. No, they get paid large play. Now we're gonna talk about that in a second. As a matter of fact, what am I looking for? Let me pull this up, y'all, because I want y'all to see something when we get to talking about this. When we get to talking about this, playoff. Okay, we're gonna talk about this in just a second, y'all. Oh crap! Y'all know I forgot to do something. Y'all give me a second. You know better than ever. You know, did it. J Rock, Merry Christmas. Hey, y'all, give me 1 second. I forgot to do this. God dang it. How did I forget to do this? All right, there we go. Okay, so y'all see, I said, right? Me, Sarge, Big Sarge only, said, should the Texans rest starters against the Ravens? In all honesty, if you want to know the truth, if we keeping it a buck like we always do, I honestly and truly believe the Texans should treat this like a preseason game. I know that's not gonna sit well with some of y'all. I've already heard from some of you season ticket holders and saying no, this is the last home game. This is a national game. Blah 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 blah. Cool. Like play them. Like play the starters. I wouldn't play them a lot. This is the reason why. I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. Hold on 1 second. Let's just jump right into this real quick. So currently, right? Currently, the Houston Texans are in the fourth spot, right? They're in the fourth spot. Could they improve to number 3? Just depending on how this Steelers and Chiefs game goes today, right? If the Steelers fall to 10-6 and the Texans fall to 10-6, Then they'll be playing for that last game to see. Like the Texans could get into they could potentially be playing for the third spot, right? Hold on. Is this what I'm looking for? No, that's not what I'm looking for. Let me get back to the playoffs. Okay. So as it currently sits, right? Currently, the Texans right now, if the playoffs started today, the Texans would play the Baltimore Ravens and would end up having to go in the divisional round. I think they would have to go back to Kansas City to play currently if it sits this way, right? But if not, right? If things change and they have to play, if they get to the third seed, then they'll end up playing the sixth seed, right? They'll end up playing the sixth or hold on. Right now, it'll be uh Buffalo and Denver, 2-7. Yeah, 3-6. So they would play the Los Angeles Chargers in the wild card game here at NRG Stadium, and then they would have to travel to Buffalo. I'd rather take my chances if I'm the Houston Texans and playing in cold weather in Kansas City than I would in Buffalo. In Buffalo, that's a different type of cold. We know it snows bad, and it snows in Kansas City too. But I would rather face that Kansas City cold than to face that Buffalo cold. And so that's why I say it's really, it's really at a point now. It's really at a point where the Texans are pretty much solidified in the position that they're going to be in the fourth position. Could things change? Of course they could change. We still have 2 weeks left in the NFL. Things can change. But I would treat it like it's a preseason game, and I would rest some starters. And the reason why I would rest some starters is because now, if last week wouldn't have happened, right? If the last game on Saturday against the Kansas City Chiefs wouldn't have happened, with the amount of injuries that they sustained, with losing wide receiver Tank Dell for the season, with losing safety Jimmy Ward for the season, after already losing Petrie, after already losing Stephon Diggs, then you lose an offensive lineman in Shaq Mason, and he's week to week. He may not be back until the playoffs if he's able to play in the playoffs. If I've lost 3 starters in a game, why am I taking the chance of losing more starters? Like the Texans are already playing with the skeleton crew. And these last 2 games, they want to be as healthy as they can going into the playoffs, going into that first wild card game here at NRG Stadium. And so I'm not saying, because they're all competitors. D'Amico is a fierce competitor. I'm not saying that they shouldn't go into this game trying to win. What I'm saying is that they should evaluate what's going on, especially with another game left, especially playing 3 games in the last 10 days. Like, in order to win in the NFL, right? In order to win in the NFL, you have to win not only the battle on the field, but you also have to win the war of attrition. And that means that the healthiest teams pretty much end up winning the Super Bowl. The healthiest teams end up winning the Super Bowl because of the rigor and the demand that the NFL, not only the NFL schedule, but the NFL play puts on your body throughout a whole season. No team, true enough, no team is going to survive with everybody throughout the season. Like, you have to be a team like the Chiefs. The Texans aren't the Chiefs yet. The Texans aren't the Chiefs. And so when you have to win the war of attrition. So D'Amico also has to play this smart, because if he doesn't, and knock on wood, I normally do this because I'm hard-headed, knock on wood, you don't want to lose any more starters. But if you do, now you got the fan base, the ones who are saying play all the starters and we should try to win. It's a nationally televised game, blase this, blase that. We should try to do this, that, and the other. Now you're saying, well, why are you playing your starters when there's really nothing to play for? You already secured the AFC South championship. You've already secured a wild card playoff game at home. You should be thinking about the divisional round. Did y'all not so nobody else paid attention last season when the Houston Texans went into Baltimore, and the one thing that hurt them in the second half of that game is not having enough people to compete in the second half? Yes, they went into halftime tied with the Baltimore Ravens, but it was still one of those games where you have to have the athletes to be able to beat that. And at that time, the Baltimore Ravens was the number one team in the AFC. And so you don't have that. I put it like this: the last time the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens met, and I asked this question to head coach DeMeco Ryans, I asked it to wide receivers John Mechie and Xavier Hutchinson. Last time these teams met, it was the exact same thing. You only had Nico that was healthy. The only healthy wide receiver that you had was Nico Collins. And so it's the exact same thing as it was in January. The exact same thing it was in January. And now you're depending on Xavier Hutchinson. You're depending on John Mechie. Like, you're depending on them. So if anything, I would be trying to, well, I made that point. I'm going to make that point in just a second. But there's too many injuries. There's too many injuries that the Houston Texans have sustained. Because I'm going to tell you right now, even with the play calling that, that some people, are still upset about when it comes to Bobby Slowik, I still think that if the Texans were healthy enough, if the Texans still had, let's just say they lose Tank, but they still had Stephon Diggs and they still had Jalen Petrie, we'll be looking at this thing totally different because they'll be able to mix and match. But they've suffered some significant injuries here lately within the last month. And I'm saying, going into this game, you got 2 games left in the season. You're also playing the rigorous. This was the rigorous part of your schedule, and you could have been prepared for it if your team was semi-healthy. The Texans aren't healthy, and you don't have Azeez. Like, so I get what you're saying, and I understand. Look, if I was a season ticket holder and I know that this game was going to be on Netflix and I know they're playing against the Baltimore Ravens, I would say the exact same thing. Hey, I pay good money to see the starters. I want to see the starters. But real football fans, you know what? Let me not do that. Let me not do that because that could come off as condescending and insulting. And I don't want to insult anybody's football intelligence. I don't want to insult anybody. So let me take that back. Let me walk that back. Now, let's not say any real football fan. All I'm going to ask you, Houston Texans fans who wants to see your starters play the entire game, is that out of selfish reasons or is that out of what you're looking for from your team? Don't get me wrong. I get it. Some people have made the statement that well, you got to play everybody because on the offensive side, because the offense hasn't been clicking. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you the same point that I made with when I was on when me and John did a show on Locked On Texas. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Locked On Texas podcast, available wherever you get your podcast from. All right, hold on one second. Let me say it like this when it comes to the Houston Texans offense, right? What the Houston Texans offense is at this time of the season, at this point of the season. At this point of the season, the Houston Texans offense is just the equivalent to cleaning up the living room, cleaning up the kitchen, cleaning up the guest bathroom. Some of y'all don't know what that means. You ain't old enough to know what that means, but let me break it down to you. Some of you older, more seasoned people, because I don't want to call you old as dirt like myself. Some of you seasoned people will know what that means. The Houston Texans offense right now is the equivalent to cleaning up the living room, cleaning up the kitchen, cleaning up the guest bathroom when you have company about to come over. If you got company about to come over, if somebody is just popping up on you, or not popping up, but tell you they want to stop by, and you say, okay, you don't have time to clean the whole house, even though the whole house is dirty. You don't have time. You got to hit what you can hit. You know what? Let me put it in language that some of y'all may speak. Let me put it in language that some of y'all may speak. It's the equivalent to somebody inviting you somewhere and you ain't got enough time to take a shower. Now, I know some people going to be like, Sarge, that's nasty. Yeah, but some of y'all have taken what they consider a whole bath. where you get a washcloth, you put some soap on it, you hit your neck, your underarms, your private parts, your butt, and you keep it moving. Some of y'all taking that. Hell, some of y'all took that this week when you had to go back home to your significant. You know what, Sarge? This ain't the time. It's Christmas. It's Christmas. Some of y'all had to take that. Some of y'all took that bath this week when you had to drop off the presents at the other. Don't do it, Sarge. This is Christmas, man. This ain't buzzed and petty. That's coming in 2025. Don't do that. Some of y'all had to watch your maybes and your possibilities going somewhere. You ain't took a full shower. Some of y'all have had company that was gonna stop by, and the only thing that you could do was clean up the living room, the kitchen, and the bathroom because that's the only parts of the house that you want them to go. But while the rest of the house is dirty, there's nothing that the Houston Texans offense really can do right now. Yeah, I know, Tay. I know there's nothing that the Houston Texans offense can really do now to change going into the playoffs. What they are is what they are. What Bobby is what Bobby is. You just hope that and pray that the plays that he's calling can be executed. You're hoping and praying that he's calling the right plays at the right time. You don't have time to clean up the whole house. You don't have time to get the whole offense together. You got 2 games left in the regular season, then you start the playoffs. If you're looking for an offensive overhaul, you think that that's going to start against the Baltimore Ravens on Wednesday, on Christmas Day, then you're sadly mistaken. What the Houston Texans are doing now is called preventive maintenance heading into the playoffs because the playoffs are one and done. It's an elimination. It's one and done. They're trying to advance as far as they can. And so, no, going into this office, you all listen, if you haven't heard, go to my Twitter page, Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Listen to the question I asked offensive coordinator. You know what? I got access. I'll do it myself. Don't worry about it. I'll play it right here myself. I need to get my subscribers up, man. Can y'all help me get my subscribers up? Not just so I can get paid, just because it looks good. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me share my screen. You know, when you start off in training camp, does the playbook change any when you go through so many injuries, like across the line at the wide receiver position? Even Joe Mixon was out some point this year. You know, when you start off in training camp, you're putting it together based off of the strengths of the people that you have designated to start. But does the playbook change any once you have to do all this mixing and matching?
Yeah, Sarge, if I'm being honest, like it kind of changes all the time. You know, you have a vision in camp of what it's going to be, and you build upon that vision, and then you get to week 1, week 2, week 3 of the NFL, and things start to change. Even things you may have been good at the previous year, you're not as good at for a multitude of reasons this particular year, and you start going in different directions. You start trending some different ways, and then as you go through the season, there's ebbs and flows all the way through that, and where you're leaning as you go through each and every game is dependent on how people are playing and what we're doing really well, the defense we're going against, as well as the personnel we have to deploy. So I think it's endless how much you're kind of changing the playbook as a whole. But at the same time, I do think there's always staples. Like every offense, every defense has these are staples that we do that we're really good at. And it doesn't really matter what they do. We're going to have these in. We're going to call these. And, our running back's going to be able to go execute them. Our tackle's going to be able to go execute them. Our quarterback and receivers can do these at a very high level. Those don't change. But there's a lot of things around that you're endlessly manipulating. Couple more.
So you see that? You heard what Bobby said? And I know some of you all are very upset, highly upset that Bobby's still calling the plays. All right, I get that part. Hell, I got people over on the Locked On Texans YouTube page basically cussing me out because during the last show I said that some of those wide receiver screens that Bobby called, that wasn't Bobby's fault. It wasn't executed right. They weren't executed right. They weren't executed from the blocking. It wasn't executed right, maybe from a standpoint of CJ getting the ball to Nico in a spot where he could advance. I said that, and people call me stupid, this, that, and other. But go back and look at the plays. Go. You know what? God dang it. Let's just do this again. Where is it at? Y'all give me a second. Here we go. I ain't gonna do it. Y'all can go and look at my page. Go to my page and look at it. And so right now, the only thing that the Texans can do is continue doing what they're doing and try to execute it better. And so I honestly and truly believe that if it gets to a point, you rest your starters. Yes, you want to win the game. Yes, you want to have 10 wins on the season. You want to win every game that you have. But I mean, you got some backups that should be able to come in and play. All right, y'all know how we do this here. Y'all know how we do this here. Let's get into these comments. Let's get into some of these comments. Let me see what's going on. Merry Christmas, DJ Rocky B. Exactly. 3 games in 10 days is unrealistic for an organization that cares about player safety. It's a lot. That's why I say the NFL is hypocrites when it comes to this, because you're talking about player safety, but look at what you're making them do, all because you want more money. True. I said the same thing. People don't want to hear that. And I get it. I can't knock them for their opinion. I get that part. But I think that the Houston Texans are in a really good position where they are right now. I would rather them. Listen, I'm not going to lie. Okay. I have a lot of respect for Kansas City. A lot. I have a lot of respect for Kansas City. They are a dynasty. I have a lot of respect for Kansas City. I do. I have a lot of respect for Patrick Mahomes. Y'all already know how I feel about my guy, Justin Reed, over there. I think that Andy Reid is a brilliant offensive mind. They have a team. They are a dynasty. And once again, like I said on the Locked On Texans podcast, I'm not so much upset about the penalties that were called. I'm more upset about when they were called. I'm not going to say that the Houston Texans lost that game because of the refs. All I'm going to say is that if you go back and you look at these plays and you look at these penalties and when they're called, they're very, very, very subjective, very subjective. And not only that, they were momentum killers. And I think that that's the problem that a lot of Texans fans have, and a lot of fans who are looking and saying Kansas City gets these favorable calls. It isn't that they get the calls, it's when they get the calls. Of course, there's going to be human error when it comes to being a ref. My best friend, who's probably listening right now, he's a ref. And he'll tell you, hey, man, sometimes these things happen in real time and we mess up. But that's why I also keep saying I want the referees to be held accountable. Come sit in front of the media and talk to us too. Come talk to us and tell us why you made that call. What did you see? Were you in a bad angle? Did you not see it? What happened? Because we're going to ask Coach Ryans what happened. We're going to ask D'Amico, hey, D'Amico, what happened? CJ, what happened? Nico, what happened? Will, Daniil, what happened? We ask them what happened when it comes to the game. We need to be able to ask the refs as well. That Buffalo winner hits different. Yep. Thank you, DJ Rocky B. Oh, I've been waiting on you. Oh, yeah, I've been waiting on you. Stop being soft. You don't Chiefs, Ravens, Bills rested, and that's why they're Super Bowl contenders. Oh, I've been waiting on you. So now that you're here, I hope you're still here. Make sure you listen. Just slow down for a second, because you know I love you with all my heart. You know I do, Swan. But let me tell you this. The Chiefs can't do it. The Ravens can't do it. The Bills can't do it. The Steelers can't do it. Do you know why? Because the Chiefs haven't locked up the number 1 seed just yet. Buffalo is on their ass. and Buffalo owns the tiebreaker. So the Chiefs have to continue playing and hope that the Bills lose. The Chiefs have to. The Bills are still chasing that number 1 seed and chasing that first round bye. So the Chiefs still have something to play for. The Bills still have something to play for. The Ravens are still trying to win the AFC North. With the win that they had over the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday, they're still Saturday, they're still in contention to win the AFC North. The Steelers are still in contention to win the AFC North. Do you realize that if the Chiefs don't win, if the Chiefs don't win the Chiefs don't get the number 1 seed, they drop all the way to the 5th seed. They drop to the 5th seed. Then the Texans will see them in the first round in the wild card game. They don't want to do that. They want to give Patrick Mahomes all the rest that he needs. And so you're talking about their Super Bowl contenders. Of course, the Chiefs are, the Ravens are, the Bills are. Yes, they are. Most of those teams are fully healthy. I'm just going to throw that out there. Most of those teams are fully healthy. We've seen what the Bills had to go through when they weren't healthy. The Chiefs have been getting by the skin of their teeth. They're getting by the skin of their teeth. And the Ravens, we've seen what the Ravens do. The Ravens are fighting for something. Yes, you would love to see the Houston Texans beat the Ravens just because. Just because you want to see them. And it's on a Netflix game, and Beyonce's performing. It's at home. It's the Christmas day. It's the last. Yeah, you want to see them win the game. But are you truly ready to lose more starters? I'm just asking. Are you truly ready to lose more starters? All these teams that you named, they're fighting for something. The Ravens and the Steelers are fighting for the Ravens, the Steelers, the Ravens and the Steelers are fighting for what the Texans already have, their division. So that's not being soft, that's being smart. Because if the Texans were still in contention to get the number 1 seed, if the Ravens were, if the Texans were still in contention to move to the 2nd spot, I would be like, you know what, you got a point. But they can only move 1 spot up. 1 spot up. Is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Because 9 times out of 10, the thing's going to stay the same. You're going to have to play Buffalo in Buffalo. And I think you'd rather play Kansas City in Kansas City. Exactly why replicate the injured team punching above their weight class. What's up, man? Merry Christmas. What is that going to do, though? What is the 3 seed going to do compared to having the 4th seed? Hey, look, and y'all know I ain't coming at. I'm not coming at Swan. Swan is like Swan is a sister to me. Even though she used to cuss me out, she hated me. She hated everything that I said. Not real hate though. You know what I'm saying? She didn't hate me with her heart. She just hated the things that I said, and then we started to get along. Yeah, he went through a very emotional time too. Especially with disease coming back, we have a chance. Rest on. Let's talk about this. And then I'm going to get into my next point in just a second. How confident are we with the guy who's on his 3rd team in the same year? I almost feel like it's a name. It's a name more than it is a player. The Ravens have Zay Flowers, and you can say Rashad Bateman if you want to. But there was plenty of opportunities with the Ravens for him to be able to shine. There's plenty of opportunities with the Carolina Panthers for him to be able to shine. Hell, they rejuvenated and resurrected the career of Adam Thielen. I'm just a little hesitant on this guy. I'm just a little hesitant because 3 teams within 1 calendar year, within 1 season, that's a lot. I can see you getting moved from 1 team to the second team, but you're on your 3rd team now. And there was other teams that wanted him too. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. And maybe somebody can explain it to me because it seems like it's more of a name than anything else. Now, I'm not taking away from his talent. I'm not taking away from his talent, but I'm just a firm believer in if you call the right plays, I feel like you can get the production out of the 2 wide receivers you have. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Damn, he's 39 now. So I met him when he was in his 30s. I was like, who is this showing off this white woman? Mama, who is that? I ain't never seen him before in my life. Hold on. My problem with Sloak is that he can use the tools that he has available. So what is he doing on the sideline? To hell with the intelligence, Sarge. Any real football fan knows that you need your players healthy to try and make noise and any noise in the playoffs. Hey, I'm with that. Hell, I'm not. I would like to see Davis Mills start against the Titans. What was this team when they were 2-4? Oh, Swan, I'm not questioning your fandom. Listen, I know you in real life. I know you are a real football fan. I know you know exactly what you're talking about. I know that. Christmas. Need to treat this game like a preseason game. Exactly what I said. I know, Tay. Not yet. See? I'm just saying. What up, AD? Merry Christmas to you, my guy. Let me see if I can good morning, Merry Christmas. I'm trying to get to some more of these comments. A bit of rivalry. My brother lives in Kansas City, and it was a family. I can imagine. I'm not a person who blames the refs, but in this case, the refs contributed to the loss. Yeah, we played the Chiefs and the refs. I just don't like when they you can make a bad call, but when you make a bad call that stops momentum, that's my problem. That's my issue. Not only was the call bad, the call stopped offensive momentum or defensive momentum. I just didn't like that. You did, Marcus. You did say that. Hey. False. Every year the teams play until the last game if it's locked up. Who, Swan? Who? Them teams don't play every year don't play the games to the last year. Swan, you and I probably been watching football for as long as we both can remember. And when these teams get things locked up and secured, I put it like this: if the Chiefs win today and the Bills lose on Sunday or Saturday, whenever they play, I don't know when they play. If they win, I guarantee you're not seeing Patrick Mahomes in week 18. You're not. I'm just saying. False. Chiefs and Ravens are not healthy. They got injuries too. Yeah, they do have injuries. They don't have the significant amount of injuries that the Texans have. The Texans lost 3 starters, 3 key starters last week. No matter how you feel about Shaq Mason, he was still a starter. Jimmy Ward had to take the place of Jalen Petrie, who you lost. Stephon Diggs was lost for the season. Tank Dell stepped up. Now you lost him. Like, these are key significant injuries. And you're also talking about a Chiefs and a Ravens team who has been together for how long? Been playing together for how long? Have been with one another, same head coach for how long? The Houston Texans, this is just 2 years with D'Amico, 2 years with Bobby, 2 years with CJ, 2 years with Will, 2 years, like, it's just 2 years. The Chiefs and the Ravens, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes thinks the same. Just like, which one is it, Jim or John? I be forgetting. I just call them the Harbaugh. Which one of them Harbaugh brothers coaches the Ravens, Jim or John? Whichever one of them Harbaugh brothers, whichever the name is, I don't know. I know them when I see them. I know there's a difference, but I don't know if it's Jim or John. How long has he been with Lamar? Like, there's different things that can be done when you have longevity and continuity. The Texans are still building that. They're still building that and building that up. So, yeah, of course. Let's see. Me too. Now, so with that being said, right? With that being said, I would rather see I would rather see Xavier Hutchinson and John Mechie get a lot of targets today. A lot of hold on for a second. Hey man, don't come in here with all that horny shit today. It's Christmas, and I know you probably got you some as a gift. I know one of your Christmas gifts was probably you getting some. Hey man, don't bring your little horny ass up here, here today. Come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. I don't even know why you would take a blue chew before Christmas. Why would you even do that? Anyway, I would love to see, love to see today. I would love to see Xavier Hutchinson and John Mechie get more targets. Excuse me. I'm not saying Nico shouldn't get them, but if you're going to roll the coverage towards Nico, kind of like what Kansas City was doing last week as well, then use John Mechie. Use Xavier Hutchinson in the absence of Tank Dell. I want to see that. I want to see that. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. These are excuses. Andy Mahomes been like this since 2018. His first. No, Swan. No. 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 No, they haven't. No. No, they have not. Not. See what Mark Torres said. Beating Ravens this game successful give fans hope that we can be successful in the postseason, not seeing us being one and done like every single season they have made the postseason. Hey, let me tell you something. Give me a second. I've been on this earth long enough, and I've been watching competitive sports long enough. I've been watching sports. I've been watching sports long enough where they keep wins and losses, where they actually tally and record wins and losses. I've been watching this long enough to know that there's no such thing as a moral victory. Just like there's no such thing as a pretty win or a pretty win or a pretty loss, or ugly win or ugly loss, or whatever the case may be. There's no column for moral victories. They just don't have it. You don't have it. Either you win the game or you lose the game. That's it. You go in and you compete. Look, for what it's worth, the Texans competed against the Chiefs, but they lost. They competed. They lost by one score. Tank was having one of the best games he's had all season. And he doesn't get hurt on that touchdown, and Kaimi Fairbairn kicks the extra point, makes the extra point. They're tied 17-17. The Texans competed. Even through all the adversity, they competed. But there is no moral victory. There is no moral victories. Now, back to what I was saying. I want to see Xavier Hutchinson. I want to see John Mechie get a lot of targets on against the Ravens. I do. And I also would like to see, well, you know what, y'all, hold on. Let me sit up in this damn chair for a second. All right. Side note. Hey, at some point, Dalton Schultz is going to have to show up. At some point, Dalton Schultz is going to have to show up. At some point. You're not blocking. You're running lazy routes. Like Dalton Schultz, you have to show up. At some point, if Dalton Schultz shows up, that helps out CJ tremendously. Tremendously. But he has to show up. I think that would help the Texans a lot. Also, what I would love to see is take what this Ravens defense is going to give you. You know what that means? That means use Robert Woods in situations to move the chains. Robert Woods can't get you no yak yards. He ain't finna give you nothing. He gonna catch 5 yards, lean over, and fall over for 6. He's gonna catch a 7-yard route and lean over and get you 8. But you know what that does? That puts you in shorter down situations. You're not going to be able to take and get the big home runs against this Ravens defense. You're not. You're just not. They're not going to allow you. They're not going to allow explosive plays, at least from what I've seen. They're not going to allow the explosive plays. Now, this is not the Ravens defense that has been vaunted like they have in the past. They can be had. They can be beat. But you have to take what they give you. I honestly and truly feel like if the Texans stay out of long yardage situations, and what I mean by long yardage is 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12, after a screenplay doesn't work or a toss sweep doesn't work, you got to stay out of these 3rd and longs. You need to continue to stay in 3rd and manageables. 3rd and manageables, and that's it. And you can get that. You can get that. If you can get Dalton Schultz to play, if you look for Robert Woods in the creases, he's going to catch. He's a possession receiver right now. You use those type of things to get Nico to get something deep over the top. You use that to see if you could get Mechie out in space and see what he can do. Like, I'm hoping that these next 2 weeks will be enough for the Houston Texans to say, going into the playoffs, going into that first wild card game, we're going to have to see about how we're going to continue to move the chains. How can we take advantage of everything that we have to keep moving the chains while keeping the time of possession? That's all it's going to take. But you got to get Xavier Hutchinson involved. You got to get Mechie involved. You got to use Robert Woods more. Hey, look, there's no more excuses. There's none. There's no excuses. You got to roll with what you got. Roll with what you got. Hey, look, when I was in the military, when we used to be in drills and we used to be in trainings, they would purposely take away something that we really needed to say, all right, this is what this is what we're doing today. This is what you got. Make it work. Wait a minute. What? Make it work. Improvise. Do whatever it is you have to do, but make it work. You can make it work. We've seen it done before. And that's all I'm saying. You got to make it work, and you can make it work. I feel like you can make it work with what you have. And, you know, the way that this offensive line, they haven't been playing the best, but this is some of the best protection CJ has had in a very long time. CJ had a lot of time on certain plays against the Chiefs. And I think what CJ is starting to realize, he's starting to get back to that, I got time. I got some time. Okay, I got some time to be able to do what I need to do. Because there was at one point, CJ was like, hey, I don't have enough time to do what I need to do. But I think that he's starting to realize he does have more time than what he thinks. And so I just want to see them be able to, you know, with the offensive plays that they have and rally behind the fact that their tank is no longer there. Just like Christian Harris saying, man, I'm going out there and laying it on the line for him every play. Tank should look, I understand why. Hold on. Okay. I didn't think I was going to talk about this. But I am, because it's been a minute since, you know, we've had a talk. And now if you're just now joining, you tune into the Sports Talk with Big Sarge. I'm your host, Big Sarge. I didn't think I was going to have to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about this real quickly. I'm just going to speak as a man, and I'm going to speak as an African American man who was born in the 70s, who grew up in the 70s, who grew up in the 80s, who grew up in the 90s, who grew up in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, lived throughout the 90s and the 2000s. Let me just say this. You know the one thing, and if you're listen, I'm about to mix some sports talk in with some mental health stuff, because you all know that I am a mental health advocate as well, and you all know that I will be doing a lot of mental health stuff in 2025. Let me just mix this in. I've seen a lot of toxic masculinity surrounding how CJ reacted to watching Tank, the CJ reacting to Tank's injury. I've seen a lot of toxic masculinity. And let me tell you what I mean by toxic masculinity. Because I'm going to be honest with you. My Uncle James is on here. He'll tell you when I grew up, during that time, hey, you cry if you want to. You're going to get punched in the chest. There ain't no crying. Now cry. You gonna cry. Get over it and keep it moving. Get over. Hey, look, you ain't hurt. Get up. You ain't hurt. Get up. Keep it moving. I better not see no tears. You just hit me with a belt multiple times, and you don't want me to cry? He's got hit with a switch. Like they don't even use switches no more. You go to jail if you use a switch now. Ain't that what Adrian Peterson got in trouble for? But growing up, right? And then that type of mindset bleeds over into the rest of the family as far as males are concerned. And now you get to a point where you think you ain't supposed to cry. What? You're not supposed to cry. Says who? Y'all realize some of y'all were like, yeah, man, CJ should show some emotion, but he's a quarterback. He needs to get back out there and do what he needs to do. His best friend is laying there with his bone out. His best friend is laying there in excruciating pain. There's nothing that he can do. Some of y'all don't realize Tank was screaming. And CJ wasn't the only one that was emotional and had tears. He was just the only one that the camera kept focusing on because he's CJ Stroud. But by the same token, how old is CJ? Still a young man. And to see your friend, football, yes, it's a game. It's a game. But that's just like being at work. You're a forklift driver, right? You're a forklift driver. And then you accidentally drop a pallet on one of your coworkers' legs. You don't think you're going to get emotional by seeing that? He's sitting there in excruciating pain. This one of your best friends this one of your best friends like a brother to you. I've seen a lot of toxic masculinity, and I'm saying to myself, this is weird to me. As a almost 53-year-old man, I will cry. I don't have a problem crying. And I don't have to defend that to anybody. And neither should you. And neither should CJ. There's no possible way CJ should have to explain his emotions. All of y'all know how important and how much Tank means to CJ. They're best friends. They're brothers. And y'all out here, I don't want my quarterback crying. Look at him crying, showing emotions, this, that, and the other. What? That's weird to me. Weird. But you know what? That's the type of trauma that's passed down from generation to generation. My granddaddy didn't cry. My great-great-granddaddy didn't cry. And I guarantee you that most of the men in your family from back in the days who didn't show emotions and kept it moving are dealing or was dealing with a lot of mental health issues. See, the one thing that happens, especially in the African-American community, that's the only one I can speak about. I can only speak about the African-American community. That's the only one I know. That's the only one I grew up in. That's the only one I know that in the 70s, When there was issues going on in your house, you know what you did? You told Big Mama and you told a pastor. That's it. You tell anybody else outside of this house what's going on in this house, and you're going to get your ass whipped. But cousin such and such is a pedophile. We don't talk about family. You talk about it to Big Mama or you talk about it to the pastor. But Aunt Charlene is cheating on her husband. It don't matter. Well, hold on now. But Papa got a whole nother family that we know about. Papa got a girlfriend and other kids. So that's what I'm supposed to follow? That's what I'm supposed to be? I'm supposed to follow that type of stuff? Like that's what I should look at as normal? I tell people all the time. The weakness is in not getting help. That's when you're weak. You're weak when you don't get the help. Oh man, I don't need to talk to nobody. I'm blah blah blah. You're the main ones who need to talk to somebody. So, as I digress, I cannot believe that these men were sitting up here talking about, I don't want to see CJ crying, this, that, and the other. Well, one of the reasons why you listen to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge is because of what? Well, Sarge he covers the team, like covers the team, like travels with the team, not with the team, but travels to cover the team. I was in the locker room. At Jihad Field, Arrowhead Stadium. I was there. I felt how somber that mood was as soon as you walked in there. Nobody really wanted to talk. I got it. But then when I did start talking to people, these men got emotional again. And they were emotional because most of them had seen. Let me tell y'all something about Tank Dell. See, y'all see U of H Tank Dell and the way that he shined at U of H. Y'all see rookie NFL year Tank Dell before he got hurt. Y'all seen Tank Dell who came back from injury last season and was a victim of a shooting at a nightclub. At a nightclub. Y'all seen him come back from that. Tank Dell has been through way more in his life that he's had to fight through to get to the NFL than y'all would ever know. A lot. Fighting back from injury wasn't the first time Tank Dell has had to fight. And what I mean, I'm not talking about physically fight. I'm talking about continue. How many times y'all think Tank Dell has heard throughout his years of playing football that he was too small to play the wide receiver spot? You're too small to play on the outside. And he just kept fighting. How many times you think coaches looked at Tank Dell and said, nah? How many times do you think fans last season looked and said, there were some media members who said, no, Tank can't play it. Tank can't play the outside. He needs to play the slot. And Tank said, I'm not a slot receiver. I'm an outside receiver. And I've been going through that my entire football life. So let me just go out here and prove it again. And to watch what Tank has been through, some people know. Titus Howard knows. There are some other people on that team that knows. A lot of people have seen what Tank has been through, not only in his life, but what he's been through his first 2 years in the NFL and seeing him fight through what he had to fight through to get back. And then only to see him go out with that horrific injury that may keep him out through the whole 2025 season. They're watching their brother. They've watched fight back from everything to get to this point, and now he's laying on the field out again. And y'all don't think he should be emotional? I don't get that part. I don't get that. I don't get that from men who don't think that other men should be emotional or should cry when things like that happen. That's just weird to me. It was the weirdest thing hearing questions asked to CJ about his emotions. It's just the weirdest thing to me. I'm saying to myself, why are we asking him these questions? We already know why he was emotional. We already know the type of person that CJ is. On another note, real quickly, some of you fans out there, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that for y'all to think that these players are just robots. You think just because you see them play on television that they're robots? No, they're human beings. I'm telling you what I know, not from what I heard. I've been in the locker room. I've had real life conversations with them, like real life away from football. Last season, I was talking to former defensive end Jonathan Grenard. And Jonathan Grenard was telling me, he said, we was talking, and I told him, hey, yeah, man, I lost my first wife. I lost my first wife to colon cancer. And he's like, dang, Sarge, it's crazy. He said, I lost my pops to cancer. And he said, me and my pops had a real good relationship. He said, then turn right back around, and I lost my stepfather to cancer. He said, I lost two men that were very important to me in my life. I lost them both to cancer. And he said, man, I just try to be there every day, for my mom. I try to be there every day for my mom. He said, I know that people see us here when we play the game, and I know how, everything's supposed to go when you're in the NFL. He said, but man, I fight every day just to make sure my mom is okay, that my mom is mentally okay after losing two people like that. He said, yeah, like that was my family, but those were her husbands. Like there's real life. Real life. 2 weeks ago, I found out something I never knew. I never knew that one of the players on the Texans, they pops is in prison. And I said, what? And he said, man, don't feel sorry for my daddy. He living good. He got his GED while he was in there. He takes some college courses. He got money on his books. He about to get out next year. I already got him a car. I already got him, I already got him squared away. But I was like, wait a minute, bro. You been playing for the Texans? Your daddy and my dad been in prison for a minute. And I got multiple brothers and sisters. Some born in the same year. Huh? Wait a minute. What? So all I'm saying is, as I digress, they're humans too. I got one more point, then we'll get up out of here. But I got to read these comments. Holmes still in the system behind the start of being able to watch and learn. So yes, he's been great, but he had that learning year. Yep. Schultz is a disappointment, inconsistent. Exactly. Dropping passes too. Give me back and sit Schultz, spending too much time juggling practice. Run a draw play or a tight end screen. Needs to do more than show up. He needs to show out. When he shows up, he shows out. Let me see what someone said. He didn't play 2017 rookie season except last game. He played the entire 2018 as a starter, MVP season. Went to the AFC Championship game against the Pats, winning the overtime and lost. That was first season. I'm gonna get back to that. Let me see. Damian Pierce better look good for the rest of the season. He ain't touched the field. He has no excuse. I don't want to see team two. I think Dare should as well. Exactly, Tay. Exactly. Exactly. Now I know it's Tay proud military too. In the military, hey, look, I ain't gonna even lie. In the military, they tell you drive on. Hey man, somebody come get him. Drive on. You got to complete the mission. But that's when we're fighting for our lives. That ain't a game. That ain't a game. If you're in battle, if you're in war, you fighting against the enemy, and somebody goes down in front of you, you got to keep driving on. Somebody else will get them, but you're fighting for your life. So that's but in football or basketball, that's different. Exactly. Uh, thank you, Ashley Knuckles boxing. Yep, yep, exactly. Thank you, Swan. Exactly. Exactly. They really love each other. That y'all heard Bobby said that. Bobby said this is the first time I've been around a team like this that are a real team. And they great granddads are mentally ill, passing down these generational curses. We have to learn to release that trauma and heal. Exactly. 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 So uh I'm raising three young black boys and teaching them that your emotions are yours. And not everyone tell you that you're a baby. You're a boy and not to cry to hell with that. Use your emotions. Hey, exactly. See what this after the curtain closes, as soon as the lights camera go off, it's real life going on. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, hey, hey. Merry Christmas. All right. So yeah, bro, I told y'all that. I told you that. AD. Didn't I tell y'all that? I told y'all that Aziz. That's why I was like so upset that they were attacking his character. I was like, hey, look, you can attack his play. Don't attack his character. Aziz is he a real good dude. He a real good dude. Talk to his teammates. Ask Henry Toa how real he is. Like he a real dude. Aziz is real dude. Is a real dude. All right. Last thing I got. So yes, Kamari Lassiter will play inside, but I would like to see Miles Bryant get some reps as well. Because Kamari really plays well on the outside. And last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, I think that touchdown to Worthy was more of unfamiliarity and not enough reps at the position, at that nickel corner position. And that's how I feel like he was able, because he didn't get as much depth as I would have liked to seen him get on that. I don't think that he got wide enough either, especially with the help that he had behind him. But that comes from not, playing that position for a very long time. So yes, I still think that Jeff Oputa. I still think that we will see Kamari Lassiter play like that. But I also believe that Miles Bryant should get some run there just to see what you got, because you're not getting Jalen back, which, by the way, hey, side note, let me tell y'all something. Seeing Jalen Petrie on what's today? Wednesday? When do we go into the locker room? Monday? Seeing Jalen Petrie on Monday, and let me just tell y'all, he's in real good spirits. He's in real good spirits. He's in real good spirits. The only thing that he hates is he's not out on the field. If you know anything about Jalen Petrie, he loves to play football. He always wants to play football, and he always wants to be out there with his teammates. And so, um, yeah, seeing him, he was in very good spirits. Seeing Jimmy Ward on his little, because Jimmy Ward can't walk now. He's using one of those knee scooters. And he said, hey man, I love to talk to y'all, but I can't because a midget. He ain't lying. He'd talk to us. I said, hey man, you got to put some rims on that thing or something, man. You got to jazz that thing up. That thing looks so plain Jane. He started laughing. But with Kamari sliding over and you putting Jeff Okuda out there, I think that going into the playoffs, you're going to have your best. And having Kamari on the outside and having Derek Stingley on the outside, those are your two best. That's what you have to go with when you're playing, going up against some of these teams, because there's a possibility that who they're playing today that they could see again today. Who they're playing on Wednesday, on Christmas Day, they could see them again. And you may see Kansas City again. And so, even if you see Pittsburgh, like you need your best. And so you're gonna have to mix and match. Now, with that being said, AD, where you at? AD, where you at? You still here, AD? I need AD to pop up. AD, I don't see you in the comments no more. Hey man, you took your blue too late. You going for another round? Anyway, I'm gonna do it anyway. Hey, look. So, woo! Tell y'all something. When Aziz comes back, there's going to be some changes. According to my source, there's going to be some changes in that backfield. I mean, that defensive backfield. There's going to be some changes along the defense that I think that some of y'all are going to like. And I think that it's going to be the best of the best is going to be on the field. There's going to be some surprises, but by the same token, you're going to be like, wow. But yeah. All right, y'all. We've been here long enough. Thank you all. I appreciate it. There will definitely be more shows coming in the next week. I got a surprise for y'all on New Year's Eve. So if you ain't going out New Year's Eve, you're gonna be at the house. Might be able to do a couple of things. I ain't going nowhere. The world is too dangerous. The world is too dangerous for me to be out now, especially to be out on New Year's Eve. Not only is it dangerous to be out on New Year's Eve, it's expensive. And I ain't got that type of money. I'm gonna sit right here and watch the fireworks from my balcony. Been tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. What time are you doing a stream? I don't know yet, Tay, but I will let you know. I definitely will let you know. I'll let you know when I come back on and do another show here pretty soon. All right, y'all got to get ready to head over to NRG Stadium. All right, you've been tuned to the Sports Talk with Big Sarge show. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're following me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because we do everything for the gram. And make sure you are subscribed to the Locked On Texans podcast and to the Locked On Texans YouTube page. Hey, y'all, if y'all follow John Hickman, some sports guy Hickman on Twitter, hey, make sure y'all go and give him a shout out, man. His wife just came home from the hospital, and I'm gonna let him tell his story. I'm not gonna tell his story, but his wife is home from the hospital now, and when he's ready to share that with you all, he'll share that with you all. But hey, man, that's amazing, especially on Christmas Day. Big Sarge, I'm out.
Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work.